It's time for Game 7. As most of you already know, the Canadiens-Bruins rivalry goes back almost a century. While I was doing some brief research leading up to this game, I discovered that the two teams have played a seventh game an amazing 9 times over the years. Perhaps the most famous series was the Stanley Cup semifinal series between the two teams back in 1952. That was the year that the Rocket, the famous Babe Ruth of hockey, scored the game winner right after going to the bench with a cut above his eye. And, well, there you have it. Pretty quick introduction for you today, but that's kind of what happens here. I've already got stuff going on in the background, as you can hear. This isn't, of course, our game. This is just the preview that goes on automatically. So, Game 7 it is. Just a little bit of pressure, of course, coming up, but let's go ahead and load our state and see how we do in this one. So, Game 7 we are at, and let's hope that the home team advantage is not going to completely overwhelm us, but we'll see what happens. We do have a better overall rating. You guys can all tell me exactly how those numbers work. I'll just worry about playing the game. Over here, I'm hoping that things as usual are good for you wherever you might be. Over here we have the snow has been melting finally. We finally have had at least some sort of heat, and is getting a little bit closer to normal, I would say, which is kind of a big key for us. Unfortunately, my kids are still not able to usually they take their bikes to school, not quite able to do that, so it's been a lot of sort of driving around for me, unfortunately. But it's all right. I have no idea where the puck was, but it's okay. Anyway, it's been that kind of day, it's been that kind of week, it's been that kind of month, In addition to all of the awful news that we keep having here in the United States, we also have the awful weather, so we get a little bit of both. Anyway, we've managed to get ourselves in a shorthanded situation already, which is something that's been kind of common here for us recently in this series. And just like that, they get charged for a penalty. No, I'm sorry, that's us getting charged for the penalty again. So now we are 2 men down. That just means that we have them right where we want them. Okay, that was probably not the best move on my part. Yeah, you want to call him there for interference since I literally cannot pass the puck. I mean, a little bit extreme there. So I've been thinking, assuming that we don't win this game, I've been thinking about kind of where we go kind of from here on out. There's as others have noted, there are a whole bunch of mods to NHL 94 that are out there, and I haven't really played the base game yet, but it would be nice to spend at least some time and maybe first off playing the base game, and then figuring out a project to do with one of the many mods out there. I know that there's the fighting mod and stuff like that recently came out. There are a bunch of mods, including there's one that's for this season, though I'm not sure about how completed the state of that mod is, so I guess we'll see. Probably was not a good idea for me to move my defenseman out of the way right when he was coming straight at me with the puck. So anyway, we managed to somehow not give up a goal there. But there's a lot of stuff that we can play, a lot of stuff that is going on sort of in the community. It might be kind of fun to look at. And as I always say for this, if you enjoy watching these videos, if you want to see more, please consider becoming a channel member or consider supporting me on Patreon one way or the other, because your financial help is really what helps make it possible for these videos to continue. So go check that stuff out, and yeah, let's see who actually scores here. This is actually a great highlight because you can't tell which team is going to get the edge, but it's Minnesota scoring the goal, 5-3, and they probably have that series wound up. No good stuff. No score here, which has been the norm. We've both teams have had a hard time scoring in all of these games. And so I have a player who goes and sacrifices himself right away. Now, see, I don't really understand how these interference penalties are called, because as we just saw, the Bruins had a player who was literally right in front of the goalie, to the point where he couldn't move, and there was no call. But right there, if I accidentally bump into the goalie, then it's called right away. So, I don't know, rules for me, but rules for thee, but no rules for me, or something like that. And we get another one. Somebody had said earlier on that their concern with this series was that, or this particular game in this series, is that the computer gives out penalties like Halloween candy. So that might be sort of what we're running into here. I probably should actually try to, you know, like dump the puck down the ice like that, so we can actually work off the penalty. That might be a good idea. There we go. That worked the way we wanted it to. That didn't, though. Anyways, there's been a lot of fun and interesting stuff happening here on the channel. You did see yesterday where we were playing Blades of Steel on the PlayStation, which actually was more fun than I thought. I was really frustrated, though, yesterday at the beginning because I was really trying to get the Amiga version of Blades of Steel to work, and it just wouldn't work no matter what I did. So I'm not sure if there was something I did that was wrong or whatever. I do know, as others have said, that sometimes you need to use the correct... Shoot, we're down 1-0. Sometimes you need to use the correct Amiga system, and I tried just about every system that I could. I think there's like 8 or 9 different ones you can choose from. What I think actually is happening with that is I think that the version of the game I got probably has a bug. I've seen that before with old Amiga games. Oh man, we just barely missed. I don't know how we missed that shot. The goal was wide open. We had a wide open net and we missed the shot. That would have been the game tire right there. Well, we get a power play out of it, so, which is pretty nice. See, they do call interference calls on the computer control team, so it can happen. Anyway, though, yeah, so that's kind of the sad news about that Amiga game. Like, I was able to get to the point where I got past the intro screen. It took a while to figure out how to do that, and I got to the point where the players were supposed to skate on the ice, but instead of having players on the ice, I had a whole bunch of nothing. So that was the end of my experimentation with that. Oh man. Well, you can't say that we haven't been attacking. We haven't been trying. Minnesota did win their series, so let's hope that we get something good happening. Now, if we don't win this series, it's not necessarily the biggest problem in the world, but you know, you always want to win. You want to do as well as you can. Not winning just means that we go out and we try something else instead. Oh, that didn't do very much. There are also a lot of sort of historic versions of NHL 94 that people have made over time in the community that might be worth checking out. Ah, man. Oh, so that wasn't icing, apparently. I'm kind of confused about that. Or was the power play still on or something? I just didn't know it. Anyway, so there's a lot of stuff that we can sort of mess around with and try, you know, as time goes on. And it's not like there's some sort of like time pressure or time limit that we have or whatever. We can do pretty much whatever we want. I do kind of look forward to going back to NHL 94, which has the one-timers, which is a little bit better. It's definitely improved over this game. Now, the big debate, of course, is whether NHL 94 is like the ultimate experience for like the 2D games or whether the later games with the later engine are better. One of the other things that the later games offers is the ability to play in a season without, you know, having to like keep track of it all by yourself by hand. So that's another thing that, you know, we can look at, we can look into. There was somebody who was asking if I could play like through basically every game in the series, you know, because I think they were saying NHL 96 has a really cool, oh, there we go again. They were saying that NHL 96 is really cool when you beat the game, so we'll see if that happens. Of course, at this rate, I'm not sure how much game beating I'm going to do, but it's all right. Anyway, this is all for fun anyway. I wasn't expecting us to even beat the Hartford Whalers, which we did pretty convincingly. We did better against them than the Canadiens did in real life. Oh, man. Yeah, we're dead. We're dead. This is it. Well, so much for that. So, sort of as I was predicting, we end up on the losing end of this, but congratulations to the many Boston Bruins fans who have emerged in the comment section over time. We will take a look and sort of see what happens if it shows us here at the end of this season. No, it doesn't. So it just tells us who the next teams are, and then it sort of quits us out of the simulation. So that's some of that classic EA Sports behavior for you. Actually, I think the Madden games do the same thing from this era. Anyway, so there you have it. We'll go on and we'll play a little bit more. I'm guessing I'll probably, instead of playing with more with the Genesis version of this game, I think I'll probably skip ahead to NHL 94. The next video that should come out on Saturday, the scripted video, will likely be about the Blades of Steel series. So we're gonna have that coming up, and there's a whole bunch of other games to play as well. So anyway, thanks a whole ton for coming along for this ride, and boy, it was a lot of fun playing the playoffs. I'll talk to you later. Bye.